Hi guys. Yeah. How are you all doing? Good? Had food? Not sleepy? All right. My friend is just closing the doors so that we can start. Okay. I'd like to start off with a question. How many of you know Exalate and what it does? Okay. All right. We have three people. Lovely. For those of you who do not, let me give you a quick brief about what we do. Exalate is basically a integration tool that helps connect different systems together. It automates ticketing between, let's say, for example, Jira, ServiceNow, Salesforce, Zendesk, GitHub, Asana. There's many more that we support, and for the ones that we do not, we can always build one for you guys, right? Till the time it is a ticketing system, of course. These you can already see are some of the systems that we already support, and we work with over 2,000 plus customers, 200 plus partners, and we just completed 15 years of Exalate being Exalate and providing helpful services to a lot of our customers. And we work with some of the biggest names in the industry, as you can see there. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to show you a demonstration of Exalate in action and what it means, what it feels like as a user, right? What does it look like? How do you do this integration? And in real time, what will it feel like? And my friend Kevin here is going to take you through that, and he's going to tell you about the use case as well in detail.
Thank you, Deepak. Hi, everyone. So we basically want to start this with doing a slide demo with Exalate. So we are going to be creating a new incident in a ServiceNow instance. We're going to be using Exalate to move that ticket to our support team, which is, of course, working in Jira. And then that ticket will get escalated to our developer team, who is also working in Jira, but in a different instance. So we're going to be doing like the entire flow from an incident to the resolution in 3 different instances, using Exalate to synchronize everything and keep all the tickets updated. Let me start. So we're going to start the request. We're going to create an incident here. I don't know if anyone is familiar with ServiceNow or not, or mostly working with Jira. So we have the CRM that say it's down, and we ran out of coffee to make things even worse. Right, so we are creating the ticket. Now we already have Exalate set up with a trigger, basically saying that any incident created in ServiceNow that is matching like a priority will automatically create a ticket in the Jira. So we can already go to our support team here. This is like the queue, and we should get the ticket here. Yeah, there we go. I just click refresh. So we have here the CRM is down. We have a ticket incident that we can already open and see everything here. So here we have the description that we are syncing, like the comment that was made. And I want to show you that I can already add a comment here saying, please order more coffee. Priorities always. And this will actually also get synchronized to our incident, so for our customers to see in the portal. Usually takes like less than a minute. Then we have, okay, let me show you this first. So this is the instance. It's Syed here, the Jira Cloud. And this is a Jira software project. But then, like, we recognize that this is a bug and that needs to be worked by our developer team, which are working on another Jira Cloud instance, and they're also using a Jira software. So we have to create this connection between a JSM and then the Jira software. And for this, let's first check here. Probably we need to refresh, but we should already have the comment. Yeah, okay, thank you, ServiceNow. It's probably syncing. And then we want this ticket now to get synchronized. For this ticket, actually, it's not going to be created automatically. We created a condition saying that we need to add the label help for the ticket to be created. So as you can see in this instance, like the last ticket was created today, and this ticket is not here. We can refresh just to make sure. And then we can now actually add the label help. And this will make Exalate basically start a new synchronization towards our developer team that are working on this Jira software. By default, we have now set up that every single comment made in the service now will actually arrive to the Jira, to the JSM. And then every single comment will also be taken to the Jira software. But we don't want the conversation between our developers and our support team to be synchronized back to the customer. So what we're going to do basically is tell Exalate to not synchronize any internal comment. So all the internal comments are going to be syncing between the two Jira instances, but they're not going to be synced back to the ServiceNow. ServiceNow will only receive public comments because we don't want that information to be. So that's one of the advantages of using Exalate. I will show you in a minute, like we have the ticket here already. Like we have the incoming and outgoing synchronization, where you're going to be defining what you want, what information you want to be synced, and how you want that information to be processed. So as you can see here, we already have all the comments, and we can say, okay, bear with me, this is an imaginary, so the developers fixed this in 2 seconds. It was typo and fixed. So we can click save. We're gonna have this now sync back to the middle, to the support instance, and we can already mark this as done because the ticket was fixed. We are also mapping, in this case, the workflows. So as you can see here, we have like done to do in progress. In the middle instance, we only have here, we have a lot of workflows, but we don't have done, and we don't have in progress. Well, we have in progress. We don't have. So, but we mapped this with Exalate, saying, okay, if the ticket in this instance is marked as done, in the middle instance will be closed, and the same will be applied to the service now. As you can see, the ticket added by our developers here, it arrived as internal node, is not going to be published to the service now. So I want to show now a little bit of how we can achieve all this. So basically, this is the Exalate panel. We have this is the connection between our two Jiras. And then we have a different connection to the Jira and ServiceNow. In the outgoing script, we are basically defining everything that we want to synchronize, and the incoming sync, how that information we want to be synchronized. For example, here we have the definition of the mapping. So whenever the ticket is done on the Jira A, it will be closed in Jira B. With that way, we make sure that when you're synchronizing with a customer or with another company or another team within the same company, that they have different workflows, you can use Exalate and like data transformation to avoid having issues with workflows, and each team can work with the workflow as they want. Same with custom fields. You can synchronize any custom field, and you can remove or add things to the custom fields as you want. Okay, this was already done, and yeah, okay, this was also synchronized. So probably so here we have the ServiceNow ticket. Actually, it's already marked as resolved. It's already updated. It has the latest comment. It was all done without us having to do anything. That's when you set up the synchronization like this, it will work. Then you have the use case when we are talking about migrations. I think that's a common topic that we are all discussing lately since the DC is going out of. And we are also supporting migrations. We don't position Exalate in competing against JCMA, for example, because the JCMA can do things that we can't. For example, Exalate does not synchronize the configuration of each space, of each project. For that, you have to use Exalate. We can synchronize tickets, you can synchronize a lot of information, but not the configuration of the projects. So that's where you can use Exalate as a complement of JCMA. So you have JCMA doing the heavy lifting, like doing the migration of, let's say, the last 3-4 years of tickets. And then if you want to have like less downtime or a phase migration, you can use Exalate to synchronize the active tickets and then basically keep working on DC and cloud at the same time, which is something that with JCMA, what you need to do is basically a lift and shift or a big bang migration, which you will have to do everything in one weekend and then move to the cloud. For some customers, that is not an option, and they prefer to do this phase migration where they go team by team or project by project first until they are fully on the cloud, and then they decide, okay, this is the day where we stop using the Jira DC instance. No, any questions so far? Anything?
Yeah, sure.
It's basically the same. So in ServiceNow, the main difference, so we want to switch, so we want to show the outgoing. So in ServiceNow, we support mostly all tables, but you will have to define the outgoing different like Jira. In Jira, you define the custom fields that you want to synchronize, and Exalate will know how to get that. For ServiceNow, you have to define what you want to synchronize for in each table. So for example, for defects, we have this list of information that we want to synchronize, and the same is for incidents. We have a completely different set of values. And when you're processing the data from the Jira side, you are creating, for example, this if condition, where if we are matching an incident, then this is how we're creating. In this case, this use case for ServiceNow, we are also even mapping the issue type. So it depending which type will arrive from ServiceNow, how we're going to be processing that. So in this case, we created an incident. So Exalate created a system incident in Jira. But if we want to create a task, we can do the same. We create a task, and you can all synchronize different things for different in one single connection, everything from ServiceNow to Jira. You have to write it because Exalate does not actually access, we cannot read all the data from your ServiceNow. So you kind of have to provide information that the custom fields, everything like that you want to synchronize, and then we create what we call the replica, that is basically a snapshot of the incident or the ticket status at the moment of the update.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but we are not reading everything. So you're only reading what you define on the outgoing script. This is like security. I would not want to have the conversation with someone from the IT in ServiceNow saying like, yeah, we're gonna read the entire table. It's no, you define the outgoing, what you want to synchronize, and then you have in the incoming how the other company wants to synchronize or the other team. That's why it's we have the outgoing also.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have documentation and
We have a lot of documentation available for every connector, not just ServiceNow, for Azure DevOps, Zendesk, GitHub. And then I think you were asking whether a visual sort of a configuration is available. We used to have it, but the problem is that out of everybody sitting here in this room, everyone would have their instance set up in a different way. And it's almost impossible to cover all use cases using a visual mode. So what we have done is we have actually added AI into this to make it easier for non-technical people to be able to write code, right? So you basically use natural language to say that, okay, you know what? I want to synchronize this custom field with this custom field. And the AI will generate a code, and it can even input the code directly into the script itself. So you don't really have to write the code. Yeah, they do. But then the fields themselves and the workflows can still be different between the two.
You can define like summary is always going to be the same. Description is always going to be the same. But if you have custom fields, then it's when you start like mixing up. You cannot.
understand that it's easier to use a visual sort of a mode, right? A drag and drop interface. But honestly, with our experience, what we have seen is that it does not cover all use cases. In fact, the visual mode that we had, it would cover certain use cases, and then there was the possibility to add a script to it as well. So for things that you did not cover. But it would always create a problem because then it becomes. Huh? Yeah, but in here, it's, as I said, you can actually, the AI can build that code for you. And on top of that, we have documentation available, a lot of it. So that, and then the code itself. So if you start a new connection, right? A lot of the code is already in there. So you just have to, like, for example, statuses, status mapping, custom fields, standard fields. So, uh-huh.
It's not going to find, like, we have some basic fields already by default when you start a new connection. Then it's all depending on the scripting, and we keep with Groovy scripting because, like, even if you have a visual that might be more user friendly, what you can do with Groovy and like the scripting part, it's your way. Yeah, there are more things that you can do. Like, you can have different if conditions. You can have like a lot. You can call different tables things that with scripting, with just a visual one, you can't. So we have very advanced use cases for customers. Like, even we have customers that are doing lookup inside Jira to find a project.
There is even a possibility to call external APIs from within this console itself. So you can use HTTP client, that's what we call it. And from there, you can actually call API endpoints directly. So as I said, every customer uses the same systems in a very different way. And the more complex the integration becomes, the more if and then statements that you keep adding to it, visual is not an option. It just does not, it's not viable to actually do it with the visual mode, because for how many use cases will you be able to actually create a drag and drop interface, right? Yeah, and you see the starting ones, like for example, replica key, summary, description, attachments, comments, states, all of this is, it lives within this by default. So when you're starting a fresh connection, all of this will already be there because these are some of the most common things that are available in almost every ticket type, every issue type, right? And after that, if there is anything that you need to add, like custom fields, there would be it would be sort of, what do you call that? Like double slash? Yeah, it's commented
it's
out.
commented out.
It's commented out, but it is there. So you can just uncomment it, use that, and modify it based on the custom field names that you have selected on your side, for example. Similarly, the status mapping as well, we call it a hash map. So you can, it will give you the code snippet, but you have to then write the statuses on your side. So one side, they could be, as Kevin mentioned, that there were like 10 different statuses, right? And on the other side, there's only 3. So you literally just map the ones that you want to sort of connect with each other. That's it.
I don't have, yeah, okay, this is commented out. But basically, yeah, we provide the default mapping on the basic one, then you can like adapt that. It's going to be the same with status, priorities, everything, because it does change and we can create anything between your instances.
And plus, our team is always there to help you out. So if there is anything you need, you can always reach out to us and we'll help you out. Not a problem. All right. Any other questions, guys? Yes, please. Attachments. I'm sorry, how to? How to prevent duplicacy of... Okay.
So Exalate, whenever you start the synchronization, Exalate will, you can synchronize attachments without issues. Exalate will not duplicate the attachments. We are currently looking for the unique ID of each attachment. So if it was added once, it will remain once in each system. And you can even remove it from one system, and Exalate will understand that that attachment was removed, and it will delete it from the other system. That is always something you can configure it out. Same with comments. You can edit comments, and Exalate will be able to find the comment and edit it. So we keep like a unique ID in each update that we do to know what was updated and what is that value. So you can edit a comment, it will go. If you delete the attachment, it will go. If you don't want the attachments to be deleted on both ends, You just change how the attachment is processed. We have that also in our documentation page. Instead of merging attachments, you just do sync attachments, and that's it. But you can, like, if you add twice the same attachment in one space, yes, you're gonna get it duplicated. But Exalate will not duplicate the attachments or even the comments. Like, we saw how we were adding comments in here, and whenever we are doing any update, Exalate will not duplicate the comments on either instance. Like, it knows what comments are in ServiceNow, in this case, and what comments we already have in the Jira software. So any comments, even though this was added by Exalate, will not be sent again to any of the systems. So there is no issue in like synchronizing like this in three-way, because comments are not going to be duplicated. Same with attachments. And you can.
Every piece of this integration is customizable. How your workflow works. So Exalate sort of seamlessly integrates into the way you guys work in each of the systems rather than changing the way you work. So you can make it your own, basically. Yeah, there should be, definitely. Right there, you see, on line number 15 on outgoing, and then yes.
So here is, we are merging the attachments, meaning that if an attachment gets removed from on either side, Exalate will remove it from the other side as well.
This is the outgoing, right? It's here on.
This is the incoming, and this is the outgoing.
So you have line number 15, where the attachment is. That's how we're sending it from here.
So with ServiceNow, you have to create an account. Like, we need a service account or a full account, which Exalate will be using to read and write the data. We basically need only read to the sysjournal and like write to the sysjournal fields, and with the basic ITIL profile that comes by default in ServiceNow, we already can work most of the issues. Then ServiceNow is really, really customizable. So if you have then like different business rules, you may block Exalate from doing specific actions in some spaces. Yeah, but with ServiceNow is that with Jira, once you install Exalate, it has its own user, and by default, it will be able to read all the spaces. If you want to remove Exalate to read one space, you'll have to do it on a specific space by removing the Atlassian add-ons profile, which is where Exalate is part of. So in ServiceNow, we are using a user account. In this case, we call it Exalate integrations, but you can call it anything. Yeah, you can do a lot of data transformation with with Groovy scripting. You can actually even, for example, try to read the email instead of the name. By default, we are using the name here. So here we have like system administrator commented in this case, but we can change this instead of using like the name, we can use the email. That is something that it's like possible with Groovy. So instead of doing that, you say, okay, add the email first, then do the body of the comment. Yeah.
And the same can be done for other. Right now, of course, we did a use case for ServiceNow and Jira, JSM and Jira software, but then it's the same thing can be done for other tools, GitHub, Zendesk, Salesforce, and other tools too. And for the ones that are not supported, we can always build a tool, a connector for you guys. As in like the tool, the hardest to build? Uh-huh. Kev, what do you think? It depends, I think, generally on the API documentation.
They all have their challenges.
Yeah.
They all have something. I would like to say that there's one that it was straightforward, easy, but it wouldn't be true.
But I think Top Desk was a bit tricky, no? But okay, so you're saying that it's all the same. Sometimes it's REST APIs. For some systems, it's webhooks. It depends, like which system allows which sort of a connection and what's the best for that particular tool. I'm sorry? SOAP UI? I have no idea, honestly. I can go back and check that for you. Right. So yeah, I mean, this is just few of the connectors. There's a bigger list of connectors available on our website, the ones that we support. And as I said, the other ones we can, whatever, if there is an API documentation and API endpoints are available, even if you don't see a system in the list, the only caveat is that it has to be a ticketing sort of an architecture in that system, right? Because Exalate picks up information from a ticket, creates a ticket, and then posts that information in the other ticket. So if that is available, we can always build a connector. That's not a problem. All right. I guess I've bored you guys enough. No other questions, guys? All good? Lovely. So, well, if you want to reach out to us, you can always, I'm going to put our email addresses right here, and you'll be able to reach out anytime you like, and we'll be happy to help you. So let's just have a conversation and see where it goes.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, guys.